talk me through the RoboTrex, because it's quite a prominent, it's prominently placed on your stand, showcasing what can be achieved. And I want to say quite simply, but I'm going to let you explain how it's so simple to use.
Yeah, so we've been selling and installing automation for probably 20 plus years. We've got maybe between 60 and 70 systems in the UK that are operating now currently. We used to manufacture our own linear systems. Now we use a FANUC robot arm, and that's just given us a little bit more flexibility to do a few other machines. And it's also meant that we can improve the system by reducing the floor space and also making it a bit more versatile. So the main benefits of our system are that, you know, if you want the flexibility like you would have, say, with a pallet loader, but actually you want to reduce the initial cost of buying a system and make it a bit closer to the cost of a part loading system, our automation sits right in that space. So, you know, customers are not having to ever reprogram this robot. It's always picking up the pallets and putting them down in the same place. So you can put in a big block, a small block. You know, this doesn't care at all. It would always pick up and put down in the same place. The other thing that we've introduced in the last couple of years is we do have the ability now to be the master, so we can tell the machine what programs to run. So typically, I mean, the last customer who installed one of these into, he's doing batches of 5 and 10, and he gets his guys to program those in the day. They load up the devices before they go home, and then when they get in the morning, they might have 6 or 7 jobs all completed, you know, of small batches of 5. So, you know, the flexibility that this gives you at the cost, I think, is completely unrivaled.
And one thing, obviously we spoke about this in depth, but how is this being run on your machine? Do I have to retrofit my table? You know, is there a lot of mess with hydraulics, that sort of thing?
So ours is completely unique in that scenario. So ours is the only system on the market that you do not need any pneumatic or hydraulic feed to your machine table. So whether you've got a machine that's been in your factory for 10 years or whether it's a brand new machine, you don't need to order it with hydraulics or pneumatics. All of the clamping is done via the robot arm. And what that also means is that if you've got jobs that actually you do like running them manually, you can just undo a 0-point plate, take off our automation base tower, and you're straight back to a manual machine that you had before you put the automation on. So you can use the automation, don't use it, and there's no limitations on what's on the machine table.
And the last question, just before I finish, how am I programming this on the machine?
So you don't have to do that, but basically it's a 3 to 5 day installation, and after that time all of the programming of the robot is done. The customer doesn't ever have to touch the robot pendant. All they do is tell it which vices are in there, or even they don't have to do that. There's laser sensors in the gripper, and if you just run it in automatic mode, it will just chronologically cycle through those vices. If there's one there, it will put it in. If there's not, it will skip to the next point. Or it can go as complicated as you're telling it, I want program 1 to be run on these pallets and program 2 to be run on these. So it's extremely flexible, as I say, at a much lower cost than a pallet system.
And I just love how you found that gap in the market for that to sit perfectly in. This thing's been running all week, and it has been the star of the show. And I think people walking past have definitely looked at this and gone, we could do with a bit of that.
Yeah. I mean, I think undoubtedly we have at least 3 or 4 customers that I'm pretty sure will order this. I mean, this is growing for us all the time, and I mean, we're very well known as a work holding company. We're maybe not so well known as an automation company, but as I say, we've been doing this for 20 years now, and we have a lot of experience of different machine tools, different applications. So yeah, if you do have an automation requirement and you need the flexibility of doing smaller batch stuff, then just definitely come and talk to us.